I'm Dan, and this is 10,000 Hours of Indie, a podcast exploring new music and delving deeper into what goes on in the background of the independent music industry. I'm a musician and passionate music lover, and I wanted to delve deeper into new music in the independent scene around the world. I also saw this as a chance to help artists connect and share their stories, so if there's someone you hear and you want to find out more about, every podcast has links in the show description. Get involved, help this community grow, follow on the 10,000 Hours of Indie socials, you can find all the links in the show description. And also feel free to email me about anything music related, 10,000indie@gmail.com. I'm open to any ideas and love listening to your promos. Flesh Cherub is Melbourne-based Liam McVeigh, whose new 6-track EP Drowning in the Expanse of Looking Up was released on January the 16th. As the press release states, in the same manner that personal history haunts and loops, the songs are ghostly, cyclical lamentations. And partly for that reason, it's hard to define a genre. The emotion within the songs seems to define if the track is punk, folk, country or some blend of these. I was instantly drawn to this EP as it's striving to look forward by learning from the past, plus the vocals are almost otherworldly. So Liam, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Melbourne's Bard of Brooding Anguish.
Well, I didn't write it. I hate it when people describe their own music, and the joy of paying someone to do PR means that they come up with those things, and you're like, yep, that's fine by me.
Accurate enough?
Sure. I'm quite nice in person, but I can imagine from listening to my music or looking at my social media, it's a bit brooding and an anguish, and it's very teen angst, really.
It also says known for creating love songs to self-hate.
I came up with that one. Well, I mean, I do come up with that. I think for a long time, I either have like two taglines, which is live, laugh, rot, or love songs to self-hate.
I think that's quite a good overall sort of definition. That would help me to want to delve a bit deeper, certainly.
Yeah.
So I found it really hard to pinpoint a genre with you, which I actually really like, as maybe it shows you're treading a new path. But how would you define your musical genre?
I think it's folk music. I mean, I really love all genres of music. Soul and R&B are like my favourite genres to listen to. But then you put the country, like, pedal steel guitar in there, and it becomes country somehow. And then I always think if there's that Eno album, which is, I think it's Apollo something, and they use slide guitar in that, and it makes me think of space. It can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't really bother me. It's just a label.
Well, I've always said that, but on the other hand, when you put these podcasts out or when you put an album out, somebody always demands a tag, don't they?
Yeah, so whatever they said in the press release, we'll go with that. So I think they said folk, punk, and country, which I'm all fine with.
There's got to be a clever way to merge them into one word somehow that somebody will come up
country.
With. That sounds like the worst sex club ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is actually your second EP, but you said of your first EP, this is a body of work that grew out of dismantling old songs, discarding them, letting them grow into new reflections. I love the idea of almost sort of covering your own songs.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I was in this band that was, I think there was 6 of us. It was almost like soul music, like quite psychedelic, and then everyone just like moved interstate and the band broke up. And they were my songs, but I just had to work out a way of playing them by myself. And then in doing that, I built up Doom Groove, the first EP, and then I've just kept kind of going with it. But I suppose when I write, I do feel like a cliche, so I suppose it is like covering your own songs.
Well, it's certainly the first EP was a lot more stripped back than this one, I think.
Totally, yeah. And I'm playing all the dodgy steel guitar parts as well. Whereas this one, Pierce, who's amazing, he played all the pedal steel and it's so beautiful, and then Andy did the drums and the bass, and yeah, they added so much to it.
Are these people from your previous bands or people you got to know while making this?
Pierce has played in a bunch of bands in and around. He played in a band called Cool Sounds, and then Andy is who co-produced it. They played in so many different Melbourne bands as well, and then I approached Andy to just play drums on the record because I wanted live drums. And then they listened to it and they really fucked with it. And they were like, let's rebuild it. Let's completely scratch what you've done and we'll re-record the whole thing. And so me and Andy recorded all 5 songs together. It became something that I didn't expect it to become.
Moving on a little bit, the dark clown makeup appears in your work regularly. Is this symbolistic of how you feel about your music or something else? Is it just something you took a liking to and thought, oh, this is fun?
So the person who came up with Flesh Cherub, she started doing it at one of the gigs and she's like, oh, do you want me to put someone new? I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? It just kept happening. And then it's also such a overly used metaphor that it just became a thing. I definitely feel like a clown most of the time. Yeah, but it's a really cliche metaphor, but it's enjoyable. It's fun, especially when I'm playing alone and I'm playing, the lineup is like bands or like live experimental blah blah, and I get up looking like, you know, this person with a guitar and long hair. It's very much like, okay, do we need another like singer fucking songwriter? And then I think I put the clown makeup on just to be like, oh, I'm just a little bit more.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, I would say it's a lot more Joaquin Phoenix Joker than sort of comic clown in a circus.
And then someone said, oh, what's that great Brendan Lee film, The Crow? Yeah, I just started doing it because I was bored, really. But now sometimes I don't want to do it, and then people expect it. So I'm at that crossroad.
No, I think it looks great because obviously you've got the black and white aesthetic to most of your stuff as well.
Yeah.
So I think it makes it more interesting aesthetically.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially, like, it is my project and it is just me, and I think I get very bored of, I never want to be like long-haired singer-songwriter, even though I am. And it's like learning to accept those things and then making things palatable for yourself rather than the audience. So I'm just trying to make myself more palatable to myself.
So you have the new EP entitled Drowning in the Expanse of Looking Up. That's quite a title. Where did the inspiration for that and the 6 tracks come from?
Just being fucking miserable. It was just like I was in the process of getting sober, or just the experiences of being sober and being an addict. And then drowning is always just related to me straight to alcoholism. And just that thing when you're in that negative headspace, the inability to look forward to anything or to open your eyes to the reality of the world, you just suck in your own little mental mind prison. And you just get caught up in your own bullshit and nothing really matters, but you just can't really look past it. And so Drowning in the Expanse of Looking Up was in the song Blind. I'd first written it down, and then that phrase or that idea kind of became the framework for the whole EP. Which is nice when you discover something like that, when you find something that you really fuck with yourself and you're like, oh, I could do more with this than a singular song. You've found a framework to weave everything together.
Do you think Blind is the sort of the track you would sell this album to a new listener with?
Probably, but I realise I've just missed. I meant "Set Me Free" is the song that the lyric is from originally.
Yeah, because that's the one you've got the video for, isn't it?
Yeah, there's 2 videos. There's one for Blind. There's one for "Set Me Free." "Set Me Free" is where the lyric came from, and everything grew out of that. But "Blind" was the second last one to be written, but definitely the one that would get most people interested, I imagine, because a lot of it's probably the most straightforward of my music, I suppose.
So what was your starting point when you wrote this EP? I mean, obviously, you've said it came from that initial song, but sort of how do you start writing? Where do you start? Do you start with an emotion? Do you start with a lyric that fits in your head, or a guitar riff, or what?
Yeah, I think a lot of the time I'll just be like humming along to chords or something. And I know with that song, Set Me Free, I was very bored of my guitar, and didn't have my piano or other things to write with. And it was the back end of a really shitty relationship that was falling apart, and I was just trying to discover something new with different tunings, and then I discovered this one chord, and the melody came to me, and I always wanted it to be sung by like an Irish coastal elderly woman, and she's like, "Drag me out on the low tide." And then sometimes I have words that I'll put to music, or the other way around, or like a visual image that I'll have of something like a car ride or whatever the fuck. But I wouldn't say there's any strict writing protocol.
Do you find lyrics easy to write?
Sometimes. I mean, a lot of the time it's just me overhearing things that people say, and I'll write them down on my phone, and that'll start like a new. Once I have the first line, it normally like a paragraph will come. I suppose paragraph is a stanza rather. But sometimes I really struggle with it, and it'll take me years to like find the right words, and I'll come back and be like, "Oh, I finally cracked it." So, same with melody and bits that bridge sections. It might take me a week, a day, or 6 years. Like one of the songs on the first EP that I think it took me like 3 years, 4 years to finally finish it.
So the pictures you've used for the album release, we touched on this already, are all black and white, mostly blurry movement shots. Who was your photographer, and what was the thought behind that style?
The photographer is my good friend who also directed the Set Me Free video, Wil Normyle. We've been friends for years. I normally just ask him, "Hey, can you do this for me? I really can't afford to pay anyone." And the movement shot started with this, the rock and roll Animal Lou Reed album cover?
Yeah.
I just desperately wanted to have that as my album cover. And so it started off there. I think it's the same font still, but, it's become its own thing. But the movement shot stemmed from that. I think it's just a photo of him live in the 70s, and it's like the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. I wish I could tell you there's some kind of deep meaning behind it, but it's just me and my vanity and my obsession with the 70s.
On to social media. You seem to have minimal social media, only appearing on Instagram. Is there any particular reason behind this? Do you just want to focus on the music, or you hate socials, or what's the deal?
It's so depressing, the music industry. And the fact that I need to be a video editor as well as it's more the idea. My friend started a TikTok for me where I think I'm in some of them, but it's just her making TikToks and being like, fucking listen to Flesh Cherub. And that's fine by me because I'm not really involved in it. I'm just like, yeah, great. If you want to do that, that's fine. It's a combination of, I'm not going to be out here doing TikTok dances because I just don't have the energy, but there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I love seeing people on the internet do that, and I love the internet for that. Yeah, I have enough self-hate as it is to be worried about interactions and who likes this and who doesn't like this, and then trying to change my music for someone else to like it. And I've found pushing gigs online or being like, hey, listen to this, hey, listen to this. No one wants to be told what to do. And I'm one of the people, if you tell me a series is great, or a movie, say, and more than 3 people tell me that, I will not watch the movie. Because I'm like, oh, someone told me to do that. I'm not going to do it. And yeah, even with gigs, I've found no matter how hard I push it, venues often want you to make 4 Instagram posts for the show or whatever, and it's it doesn't sell tickets. No one likes to be told what to do, and if everyone is doing the same thing, of focusing on TikTok and video content, and how is anyone going to stand out? Not by saying that I stand out, but how is anyone going to push through the cracks? There's something's got to change, and I hope it does. There's these 2 Italian guys who review pizza, and they're like, Benuma, and they're great, and they're funny, and whatever the fuck. I didn't realize they were a fucking band until a week ago. And it's oh, you started off this as to promote your music, and then people get to know you instead of your music. I don't want to get to know me. Just listen to the music.
There's a post on Instagram in which you've listed searches like what causes ghost smells and what do evil spirits smell like, entitled Permanent Stench Vibes. What the hell is that all about?
So there was a song on the first EP called Permanent Stench, and then I made a video for it. I think I was Googling the video, and this is what was coming up as this is before Gemini, the Google assistant, so it was that pre-AI Google, the drop-down window would come down, and it's I typed in permanent stench, and then the people are typing what the ghosts smell like, or whatever it is. And I just thought that was so fascinating, because it's funny when you think you're in your own little niche of making weird, ghostly music, and then there's just so many people in the world just being like, what's a flesh cherub? What do ghosts smell like? Is pain spiritual? All these things that I don't think of as existential or big ideas, and then you just You just join this little community of people also thinking about similar metaphors, I suppose.
Did you delve into what ghosts smell like?
No, I don't think I did. I mean, also, would be a weird thing if a ghost smelled. You know, like the whole thing about ghosts is that they're ethereal and can pass through walls, whereas saying that I'm now trying to like scientifically justify why.
Well, exactly. It raised questions in my mind when I saw it. I was like, I'm going to have to look that up after the interview.
Now I'm like, smoke stays inside, but it's like ghosts go through walls, and it's like, well, ghosts, as far as we know, or like as far as I know on my spiritual journey, I've yet to encounter them. My mum sees ghosts all the time. You know, me, yet to see a ghost. Didn't believe in ghosts till I got a cat. Cat sees ghosts for sure.
Your video for Set Me Free is in black and white, as we've already discussed. Do you find that it's more dark and brooding and in keeping with the theme of your music, or is there more to it than that? Was it expense because black and white looks better for cheaper?
It was originally shot in colour, and then Will, who also took the photos for the album and the press photos, and he literally just messaged me and said it's black and white. Yeah, it's come out very noir, and I really fuck with it. It just looks better. I wish there was some magical answer I had of like the tonality of the bleach whites compared to the darkness of blah blah blah. But it wasn't. It was just his stylistic choice. And I've asked him, is there anything he wants to, like when doing press, I've asked him, like, is there anything you want me to say? He's like, no. I think we're both just very happy with the video and how it turned out.
So you make a point of stating in the video blurb underneath that you shot the video on Aboriginal land. This is obviously something you feel very passionate about. Is it what the song's actually about, or does it just coincide quite nicely with the themes of the song?
It's just a respect thing. Here in so-called Australia, we have so many different nations, and you're looking at a continent that's the size or bigger than Europe. And it's this ridiculous notion that all these if we looked at it like European states, that all these people were one people. And it's just important to acknowledge what land you're on. The Wurundjeri is the people of the Kulin Nation, which is the language group. Look, don't quote me on this, the exactity of it. But then when we were down there, it's a different country because we shot it a few hours outside of Melbourne, down by the coast. So it's just an acknowledgement of the people there. It's something we do here in terms of like if you go to a comedy show or if you go to a gig before there's the show, you pay respects and you acknowledge the land that you're on, because here in Australia we're like literally today there's a day that's dedicated to celebrating the colonial destruction that came and destroyed an entire culture. Like in New Zealand, it's very different because you have a treaty that was signed between the British government and the Maori people, but that's never been signed in Australia. And it's just mainly just the respect thing. You know, you go, hey, this is your land. I'm a first generation Australian. My mother's Irish, my father's English. This country is full of beautiful immigrant families and people. That's what makes Australia so special. But it is really important to remember that for 60,000 years before anyone was here, there was a whole beautiful cacophony of indigenous nations.
On to live shows. Do you enjoy live shows? It must be very different now that you're solo to how it was when you were in a band, because it takes the pressure off when you've got a whole bunch of people around.
Yeah, I actually find the pressure's a lot easier when I'm by myself, because if I fuck something up, it's only me fucking it up and no one will know. But the past year, it's been like a three-piece. It's been myself, someone doing backing vocals, and then Piers, who played pedal steel on the EP, has been playing live with us. And at the moment, I'm currently trying to build a live band up again to have some kind of launch with the full instrumentation and orchestration that is on the EP. But yeah, I really enjoy playing live. I feel very light and it's very cathartic for me to sing and to play these songs, and occasionally the weight is there of the subject matter, but often I'm not really present to it. It's the closest thing I have to like faith, I suppose, or religion, where it's just like I'm present, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. There's nothing else I do that does that for me.
If you had to pick between recording and live, which would you pick? You can only have one.
I really enjoy recording. That's a very hard question. live by like a smidgen for that sense of closeness to God, I suppose. But not that I believe in a higher power, but that's the only time I feel like that. But recording, I could do forever. It's the most fun one can have. But at the same time, when you record, I do have to listen back to my own voice a lot, which is what's knocked it off the first place rung. Is, I don't want to listen to my voice.
You don't seem to play too regularly. Is that because of the landscape of Australia, both physically and musically?
I also just tend to delete gig posters that I don't like. I think last year I played at least once a month because I was really trying to be part of the scene here. Like, I've been involved on the sidelines for a very long time, and lots of my friends are in bands in and around Melbourne. But I really wanted to be... I was like, I need to just be a name in terms of that people will be like, this person can play a show, great. We'll get Cherub to do that, great. And so last year I was playing almost too much, and then I ended up playing shows which were wonderful, but they were also like not the right fit or like to no one or whatever the fuck. So it was a really good experience last year. But this year I'm trying to be a lot more picky and see how that goes. I'm still working it out. Like, I'm in no way know what I'm doing at all. And also I just constantly am trying to work out what I want the live thing to be.
Is the aim to somehow get it out of Australia at some stage and play some shows in Europe, for example?
Would love to. I can't do winter anymore, so I'm trying to work out where that can be in eternal summer forever.
Do you have any shows planned at the moment, or are you sort of, as you say, you're getting the band together at the moment?
Getting the band back together to do some kind of launch that I would like, because I would like to do that. I would like to find the right venue, make it feel special, but I'm in no rush. If it takes time, it takes time. I don't think anyone cares whether it's a launch a month after it came out or 6. My motto for this year is acceptance and nothing matters. So
the final question, what music are you listening to at the moment that people may not be aware of and should take some time to check out?
At the moment I'm being really boring and just listening to Cameron Winter. But then there's a bunch of great Melbourne artists. Who Cares, a really great group in Melbourne. Finola Keith is an incredible singer-songwriter from Melbourne. Twine, which are a really cool band. They're originally from Adelaide, but I think they're currently around Melbourne. Shock Corridor, another incredible Melbourne band, and Dumbhead, who are also on the label that put out my EP. But yeah, they're all incredible, but honestly, I've just been listening to Cameron Winter and ABBA at the moment, which is a weird combination, but really enjoying it.
So, for anyone wishing to find out more about Cherub, you're on Instagram, YouTube and Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Drowning in the Expanse of Looking Up by Cherub is out now on Crossing House and can be found on Bandcamp and all streaming platforms. Liam, thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
Good luck with the EP.
Thank you, mate.